And it is day 3 of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's state visit to the US, which is currently underway. An official State Department lunch, discussion with the leading American CEOs and a diaspora outreach are on the cards. Prime Minister Modi took part in a high-tech handshake event at the White House earlier today. The Indian PM held meetings with entrepreneurs, CEOs and representatives from various companies. US President Joe Biden and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi also met senior officials and CEOs of American and the Indian companies. They discussed innovation and investment in a variety of technology sectors, including AI, semiconductors and space. The Indian Prime Minister said that the coming together of technology and talent is definitely a guarantee for a bright future.
Understanding the importance of technology, the progress that America has made in the area of technology, and the youth in India, thanks to its talent, has created an identity for itself in the world. So this coming together of talent and technology, I believe this is definitely a guarantee for a bright future.
Our countries are taking innovation and cooperation to a new level in our relationship, and thanks in large part to the folks around this table. So my message today is really simple. We've got to keep it up, and we have to make sure we aim even higher. We're going to see more technological change. You've heard me say this a number of times, in the next 10 years than we saw in the last 50 years.
Following the meetings, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris and Secretary of State Antony Blinken hosted a state lunch for Prime Minister Modi. The lunch includes officials from the State Department as well. Now, ahead of the lunch, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, Vice President Kamala Harris and the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the guests as well. The Indian Prime Minister raised a toast to friendship, peace and the prosperity of people in India and the U.S. Prime Minister Modi also praised Blinken, saying that the U.S. Secretary of State had played an important role in strengthening ties between both the nations. Take a listen.
Over the past several decades, the United States and India have been advancing the vision of greater interdependence, brought closer by administrations of different parties in both of our countries. Having worked for President Biden for over 20 years, I know that his belief in this partnership is long-standing and his commitment to delivering on its promise is unwavering.
पिछले 3 दिनों में मैंने अनेक बैठकों में हिस्सा लिया, कई विषयों पर चर्चा की। इन सभी बैठकों में एक चीज कॉमन थी, सब एकमत थे कि भारत और अमेरिका के लोगों के बीच मित्रता एवं सहयोग और गहरा होना चाहिए।
After the state lunch, the Indian Prime Minister will engage with influential figures and leaders from civil society at the Kennedy Center. This will also include prominent corporate honchos and personalities. Prime Minister Modi's final engagement will be interacting with the members of the Indian diaspora and Indo-US community, including community leaders. This is expected to take place at the Reagan Center in Washington, D.C. And we have our team fanned out across the United States of America, tracking Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's landmark state visit to the United States of America. Our correspondent Molly Gambhir is joining us live from Washington, D.C. Our principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibal is also joining us live from Washington, D.C. We also have with us our correspondent Susan Tehrani. I would first come to you, Siddhant. What is the mood like on the ground? In just a short while from now, the Indian Prime Minister will be attending the Indian Diaspora event at the Kennedy Center. Tell us more.
Well, I'm right now inside the very place where the Indian Prime Minister is going to shortly address the members of the Indian diaspora. 4 million members of the American diaspora who play an important role in terms of community and also policy making. Let's speak to them. They have been standing for a pretty long time. Sir, welcome to WION. My first question to you is, how do you see this address of the Indian Prime Minister? What's your expectation from the Prime Minister's address?
So this is, as yesterday Prime Minister mentioned in his speech, this is the age of AI. So that is this is a perfect storm. America and India, AI, are coming together for world peace and excellent establishment of the Vasudhaiva concept here. So these are two powerful nations coming together with a very good intention to make something good for the world. I'm absolutely amazed by the directions of Modi ji. He has set entire world in a right direction. So now today, our Indian community is coming together here to witness this. And Indian community in America is the biggest contributor of the tax. And we are one of the best communities, peaceful, peace-loving community. And America recognizes that, and Modi ji is making icing on the cake for them.
America recognizes that. How do you plan to welcome the Prime Minister when the Prime Minister comes? What's your plans?
We want to welcome him not only as India's leader, as a world leader. India and America is not only solving the problem of India and America, we are solving the whole world. When the vaccination drive happened, India not only solved India's problem, it supplied the vaccination to the whole globe. Also with Make in India, Make for India and other thing in India's story, our diaspora's contribution is immense, needed, and that's the best way to give back to our motherland where we are from. And we are really proud of Modi ji to create this kind of very high energy, and we wish him all the best, and we wish him good health.
High energy. Last comment, sir, if you can come here. In a very brief way, how do you see the visit of the Indian Prime Minister cementing the relationship between the two countries? If you can come here and speak to our viewers as well.
Yeah. As Prime Minister Modi yesterday mentioned that now we are the highest stage of the India-American relationship, and that's going to go further up, and with, of course, all the support of Indian diaspora within the US, and of course under Modi's leadership, we are going to see that America and India are going to be great partners and leading the world towards the peace.
I saw a lot of chants as well. Are you trying to welcome the Indian Prime Minister in such a way? And if you can do similar things right now for our viewers.
Of course, we say Modi, Modi. Let us chant
Modi.
Modi. Modi. Modi. Modi. Modi. Modi.
So this is how the diaspora plans to welcome the Indian Prime Minister here when he arrives. We know that all throughout the visit we have seen a celebration of sorts for diaspora, whether it's the South Lawns of the White House where WION was present, whether it's the Capitol Hill US Congress where WION was present, and now again here at the Ronald Reagan Center where the Prime Minister will be shortly arriving.
Right, Siddhant, we can see there's a lot of excitement out there for the Indian Prime Minister's arrival. Thanks very much. I would now come to you, Molly. You're joining us live from the Kennedy Center. It has indeed been a power-packed schedule for the Indian Prime Minister, and a historic one too. What does this visit by the Indian Prime Minister mean for the changing world order?
Well, look at the time at which this visit is coming, Rahisha. It comes at a time when equations between India and the United States are seen as one of the game changers as far as the mission to counter China is concerned, and which is why we have both the US and India collaborating in fields such as defense, industrial cooperation, also tech ties getting a huge boost as far as this visit is concerned. That those two have been the key focus areas, apart from people-to-people ties, collaboration in space, climate change, so on and so forth. But largely speaking, the potential that the two countries have to collaborate in these areas, according to experts we've been speaking to as well, is tremendous, and which is why the US President has called the relationship between India and the US among the most consequential. The Indian Prime Minister talking about how the partnership is limitless, the scope knows no bounds, and
right,
the two leaders
right.
have also spoken about how economic ties
Right,
between
Molly,
the two
I'll
countries.
have to interrupt you right in here.